Right. We're going over a game, but I also got egg rolls and mozzarella sticks here, so I'm sort of eating egg rolls and mozzarella sticks while commentating this. These are good. So this is a tier 2 matchup between Sami and Andy. Yeah, one of those isn't tier 3. Or one of those COs is not tier 2. And that is Andy. These are actually some really bomb mozzarella sticks. I like these. Anyway, Andy is the one that is not in tier 2. Andy will never be a tier 2 CO. He can go up against tier 2 COs depending on the map and whoever it is he's facing, and he's certainly no slouch either, considering that he has no weaknesses. But that also means that he doesn't have any advantages either. The main thing he has is hyper upgrade, and that's only going to be a one-turn thing. But if he keeps all of his units alive, suddenly every single one of them is going to be at full health, and they're going to overwhelm the opposing army. But he can only do that if his early game is good. And early game is something that Sami is very, very good at. Sami is the infantry specialist. And yes, throw mechs in there as well, because she can utilize both very, very well. The only thing with Sami is her direct combat loses 10% firepower, which isn't bad. It's not a bad nerf, not in the slightest, given what her foot soldiers are capable of doing. And when Victory March comes in, oh my goodness, it does not matter what property is around or the health of said foot soldiers, they're going to capture it. And any mechs that are nearby opposing vehicles, those vehicles are going to get destroyed. And even if the mechs somehow don't do it, the infantry is more than capable of picking it off. And especially with this kind of map, multi-base map nonetheless, Sami is very, very good at early game stuff, because infantry battles are going to happen fairly quickly. Although, not on this map very much. You get the one singular base in the middle, being surrounded by 3 other bases. And an airport. So, that middle base is going to go with defensive type troops, whereas the other 3 bases and the airport are going to just try to swarm that one base as quick as possible. And of course, the first player always has to capture those first 2 bases. Meanwhile, the second person already has those. I'm Andy, by the way. And I am eating a mozzarella stick. And I'm gonna go for a recon up here. Why? Because this is going to force the Sami to buy a tank in the middle. It's going to force a vehicle out of Sami, and that's always a good thing. Or making Sami buy vehicles. Except, she gets full use out of that vehicle. I don't know why. I thought I was looking at the tank's range, and I was like, okay, that force will prevent the recon from getting it. I didn't count that it can go the other way. So already, Sami is in a very good position. Yeah, that was a very bad opening from me. One thing I have yet to talk about this map is this map has 4 comm towers. And quite a bit of these comm towers can swing either way very, very quickly. And since there's no opposing tank on left side, I'm going to go ahead and build an anti-air for that pesky little battlecopter. And look at that. I know I'm on road, but a 6 HP infantry from Sami dealt 4 damage. That's nuts. Thankfully, though, well, I had a little bit of a misplay in the beginning. The Sami had a little bit of a misplay here. Battlecopters cost 9,000 to build. Anti-air costs 8,000. I am more than comfortable with sacking a battlecopter. Not battlecopter. A anti-air just to get a battlecopter kill. I'm more than alright with that. And already I'm coming up and threatening quite a bit of stuff, but this Sami is covering quite a bit with anti-air. There's not a whole lot my battlecopter is going to be able to do pretty soon. And there's nothing I could do to stop that infantry from capturing the comm tower, because Sami infantry have a multiplier on their capture rate. It's not just 10 HP infantry, they get 10 out of 20. No, a 10 HP infantry gets 15 out of 20. So a 7 HP infantry, that is the equivalent of a full HP infantry when it comes to capturing. And now Sami has 3 comm towers against my 1. That's not good. Because her foot soldiers naturally have 30% firepower. And she has 3 comm towers, that's 60%. And her vehicles now have plus 20% firepower. Yeah, so her direct combat is max level right now. Which is not very good for me. However, as you... This is my favorite thing to do. When I see an opportunity, I will sack the battlecopter for a power charge. Let's get hyper upgrade started. Yeah, I lost the coin flip on that one. I believe this interaction right here. Let's take a look. Yep. 97% to 106%. I had a good chance to knock out that infantry, it didn't happen, sadly. So, I will take what I can get at that point. And go ahead and do a backup option and build some freaking artillery. But a decent chunk of the right side has been taken out, which is good. Yep, and in comes the medium tank. Medium tanks are very, very good to get. They really are. They are incredible defensive options. However, when they have nowhere to go, that quickly becomes a problem. Yep, that medium tank is the only thing that's blocking me from getting that right base. And meanwhile, my opponent still has to deal with a base that can keep producing units. And I'm also going to go ahead and build a medium tank there. Go ahead and build a second artillery up top too. And while my opponent does have Victory March, it won't benefit them. Not at all. There's a medium tank on that base, there's a tank on a city, and they're not anywhere close to my comm tower. Any property that they can possibly get, they're not able to get because there's something blocking it. That's a feisty anti-air there. Whew. And a bomber. Sami bombers are very, very good. Usually what Sami wants to do is she wants to use Victory March, get as many properties as she can, and then use all the money that she's going to get and tech up super duper quickly. Bombers being one of the main things that she's going to get. Well, she did have 31k. It's now brought down to 29. And we are tied on income right now. And I'm going to go ahead and... A natural response to a bomber is a fighter. So let's go ahead and build a fighter. And even though these two are on completely opposite ends of the map, there is something that a fighter can do in the meantime, while getting to a point where it can threaten the bomber. And now, Victory March. One property, one comm tower, two properties. And that's it, really. Well, he did... Well, my opponent did get a comm tower. It wasn't exactly a very good Victory March. It really wasn't. And that's because it transitioned into a left versus right side battle, where both of our bases are being blocked by a medium tank. And all the infantry was too far to the side. There's nothing that this Sami can potentially do at this rate when it comes to trying to get properties for Victory March. And this Sami doesn't destroy my medium tank, which good for them. However, there's one very crucial mistake. Well, I wouldn't even say mistake, actually. No, I would say mistake, because they should have kept the victory march. And now, day 13. I have quite a lot of vehicles surrounding the opposing HQ. And Hyper Upgrade is right around the corner. And I don't even get to destroy the... I don't even get to destroy the medium tank. But I do sack one of my tanks in order to get Hyper Upgrade. Because there is a specific rule that I do with Sami. If Sami has an infantry within 5 spaces of the HQ, cover it up. No matter what, cover it up. This goes for other COs as well, Andy being one of them. Because now every single one of his troops has +1 movement, and there is an infantry that is 4 spaces away from the opposing HQ. And what this fighter is able to do, thanks to the +1 movement, is block that medium tank from going anywhere. All I have to do now is just clear out these 2 infantry, which I am more than capable of doing with those vehicles. And with a wall created, I'm going to start capturing that HQ. No base required. And then double time. The double time is not going to help though. There's far too many stuff in the way of that HQ. And simply just capture HQ. Andy has out-Sami'd a Sami. Sami, however you want to say it. But Sami just got out-Sami'd by Andy in a multi-base map. That's not something that you get to see every day. If my opponent withheld using Victory March and went over to my HQ, that would put so much pressure on those 2 bases. Like down in the south. I don't think I would have been able to keep up. But instead they use Victory March to capture 2 properties and 1 comm tower, which a comm tower, it can swing things, but not that much. It's only 10% firepower. And while Sami can very well make use of it, nothing much is going to happen with it. That's the thing. It would have been a lot more threatening had this 1 infantry by my HQ be backed up by Victory March.